Welcome back to the Dragon's Lair. My name is Wade, and this is my show Let's Talk, where we talk about Warhammer 40k. These videos are intended to help people learn 11th edition. So whether you already know some things or whether you don't know anything at all, this is intended to help everybody learn and grow, including myself. So in this how to play video, this is number 2 in the how to play series, and it's all talking about setup, right? We're getting ready for the game. So go ahead and look at number 1. I talk about some things that you need and tools that will be really helpful for you. The Warhammer community page and the app and the rules books and the cards. Go ahead and check out those videos. We're talking about the event companion because obviously you can do whatever you like, who goes first and who deploys first and all that jazz. You can do however you like, but we're talking about the rules laid down in the event companion. So I don't want to hear anybody coming at me and say it's 40k, you can play it however you want. It's true, you can play it however you want. I'm just talking about what to expect if you want to go to a local RTT and play at a local RTT, because I play at the RTT level and I love it. It's fun. Get some games in, play against armies you've never seen before. There's a great place here in Lansing in Michigan. Shout out to AFK Games. Anyways, so we talked about mustering armies. The very first thing that we did. So I talked about the muster step, and here's the breakdown of the muster step. Go ahead and look at the other video. But anyways, one thing I wanted to pick back up on was when you pick your detachments. So at 2,000 points, you have 3 detachment points. You then buy detachments, right? So I'm just using Tyranids as an example, right? So my invasion fleet is 3 detachment points, which means my force disposition has to be taken hold. Now, if I was going to play Crusher Stampede, I would go with Crusher Stampede for 2 points, and then probably Talons of the Norn Queen. And this is a screenshot from the Warhammer 40k community page. That's one of the best tools that you can use to learn how to play 40k. So this is a screenshot. It'll be in the new codex whenever the new codex comes out, and they'll print it in the new army rules and all that stuff. It'll be in other places, but right now, that's the only place I know where to find it. So anyways, let's use the Crusher Stampede as an example. So if you did Crusher Stampede for 2, Talons of the Norn Queen for 1, at the end of the muster step, you have to choose a force disposition. So you could choose Take and Hold, or you could choose Purge the Foe. Either one of those, but you have to choose one, and that's going to be important when it comes to determine the primary mission. So now back to my invasion fleet example. My invasion fleet example is going to be Take and Hold. All right, so at the end of the muster step, I have decided my only option is Take and Hold. All right. So right here where it's talking about force disposition, you have to choose one. It's your overarching strategy, okay? So now here comes the game that you have to play. All right. So you get into your deck of cards, boom. And there's 2 cards in there that is this, one for you, one for your opponent. That's why the deck of cards is really important, because it has everything that you need and everything one other player needs in order to play the game. So then you take out your deck of cards, and then you say, okay, I'm Take and Hold. They say that the Take and Hold cards are green. I'm mostly colorblind, so I'll leave it up to you sighted people. But so you have Take and Hold. Let's say the other player is also playing Take and Hold. So the symbol for Take and Hold is that chevron with the skull on it, right? That's the symbol. So if I'm playing Take and Hold and they're playing Take and Hold, this is how you determine your mission, your primary mission. So it'll be battlefield dominance. You see right there how it goes together. If somebody was playing, I think the sword is Purge the Foe, it would be a movable object. So anyways, you go down the list and you match them up. And that's how you figure out what your primary mission is. So so at the end of the muster step, you declare force disposition. You compare your force disposition to your opponent's force disposition, and then you get primary mission. So once again, this is supposed to be green. I believe you if you say it's green. And this is the primary mission. So any battle round, this is going to tell you how you score your points. End of the turn, you control 3 or more objectives for victory points. Second battle round on, when? End of your command phase, or at the end of your 5th battle round. You control 2 objectives, 5 victory points. You control more objectives than your opponent, 4 victory points. End of the battle, you control your opponent's home objective, 5 victory points. So now this has become your primary mission, which it makes sense for take and hold, right? You get on an objective and you hold it, and maybe you free a couple up from your opponent. that is a pretty big that decides everything that you're doing, so that is a very important thing to know. From there, you need to determine your layout. Now, once again, if you're playing 40K with your friends, you can determine your deployment zones however you want. The chapter approved deck does have like 6 different deployment options in there, right? So it's got it all laid out. You could choose from that if you wanted to. And then if you were just playing a casual game with your friends, you could determine how to put down the terrain. And there's rules in the little booklet that describe how to put down terrain. However, the event companion is what we're talking about. So the event companion has pre-labeled layouts. So, for example, this is take and hold versus take and hold. So this is an actual screenshot off of the Warhammer Community 40K website, where it has all of these in the event companion. So you just go ahead, download the event companion for free, and it has all of these. Now, keep in mind, for every mission type, so this is battlefield dominance, there is an A, a B, and a C. So then, back to your force disposition, this thingy. If you were playing a movable object, there would be an A map, a B map, and a C map. If you were playing determined acquisition, same thing. Purge and secure, same thing. Inescapable dominion, same thing. There's an A, B, and C for each one of these. Now go ahead and check it out, right? So the red is the side that's going to be the attackers. The blue is the side that's going to be the defenders. You see how it's got the 2 swords in the red and the shield in the blue. Right here, it's laying out everything that you need to know for where that terrain, which is where these become important, right? So see how each and every one of those matches the pieces, right? So the area footprints are important now. And that's going to determine the area footprints determine the objectives, right? So the blue castle is the defender's home objective. The red castle is the attacker's home objective. So when it talks about home objectives, and then you see your 3 objectives there. There's one on the center of the table, and then there's 2 in no man's land. So if you haven't played 40K a lot, the red zone is the attacker's deployment zone. The blue zone is the defender's deployment zone, and they're just mirrors of each other. So you see how like the blue side has all the measurements. That's telling you how to mirror the other side. Kind of. You see how it? Yeah. You get it. Yeah, so it gives you all the measurements, how far everything has to be apart from each other and far away from each other. It's all right there. And just go ahead and download the companion. And I've seen people print them out. I've seen people keep them on their phones. There's all sorts of ways to do it. But it allows you to be able to study basically for when you're going into an RTT. So you've determined the layout. A lot of times event organizers are going to determine that ahead of time. In step 4, missions are played on rectangular battlefields, 44 by 60 inches. You set up the terrain as shown above on the seated layout or the set layout. Yeah. From there, players are going to look at the selected layout and agree on which edges of the battlefield players have set up corresponding with the attackers and defenders' battlefield edges labeled on the card. Roll off. the winner decides who will be the attacker and who will be the defender. So a lot of the prep work will be done ahead of time for you guys. I haven't played an 11th edition tournament yet, but I'm sure there's a way to make it quicker and more time efficient for effectiveness and economy of time, because the tournaments need those things. But yeah, so we've just taken you through muster, determine mission, determine your layout, create the battlefield, and determine the attacker and the defender. So determining the attacker and the defender all comes down to a roll off. Roll off. Winner decides who will be the attacker and who will be the defender. I really enjoy sharing this information with you guys. Like I said, we're just following the event companion for this one. I understand that when you play for fun and when you play thematically and dramatically, you can tell a story and change any of these setup rules how you want. This is just for the event companion, and you can use that as a guide to learn how to play the game, learn how to play under the preset conditions, and then you can start being wacky and changing things up and having fun. Anyways, I really enjoy sharing this information with you guys, and we here at the Dragon's Lair want to say thank you for spending your time with us at the Dragon's Lair.